Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Bilquees Ara, teacher posted at Boys Middle School Langate. We will continue our previous topic for class 7th, that was fiber to fabric. And yesterday we discussed the process of making wool from animal fiber, that's from the fleece of sheep, goat, or even camel in some regions. That involved many steps. The first step was shaving. Yes, children. First step was the shearing of the skin. The second step was scouring, to wash that fiber, to wash all that grease, dust, dirt. And the third step was the sorting of the fiber, where the separation is done in the factories. Is sent to factories where the separation is done. And the next step was the to remove the burrs, the fibers, fluffy fibers from that hair. And then was the dyeing step, to color the fleece. And the last step was the straightened, combing the yarn, and are separated into longer ones, longer fibers, and the shorter fibers. The longer ones are then made, and they are used for making sweaters, and the shorter ones are used for woven woolen cloths. Now today we take the another form of fabric, that is silk. How silk is produced? It's also obtained from the animal. Yes, from which animal it is obtained? It's obtained from the silk moth. Silkworms are used for obtaining the silk. The silk it's obtained from the cocoon of the silk moth. Variety of these silk moths are, and all are different from each other. In the market there are tussar silk, moga silk, kosa silk, which are different in the coarse, shine, texture, smooth. They are different from one another. And the most common silk moth, which is mostly commonly used, that is mulberry silk moth. It feeds on the mulberry leaves, mulberry trees, which we grow, which are in our homes also, and they are grown on larger scale for this industry. And the industry which deals with silk moth, silkworms, for producing silk is known as sericulture. What happens when the female silk moth, it lays hundreds of eggs? When the silk moth lays hundreds of eggs at one time, those eggs are, they are very carefully stored, either on the cloth or piece of cloth or on paper. And then they are sold to farmers, the silkworm farmers, which rear them. What did the farmer do? They keeps these eggs under proper conditions, under suitable climatic condition of temperature and humidity, and they are kept in the warmer temperature where these eggs or they hatch larvas. But at that time when the mulberry leaves, fresh mulberry leaves are there, when the mulberry trees bear fresh crop of leaves, that time it is done because they feed on these leaves. They eat day and night leaves, and they increase in size. This process remains for 20 to 25 days, 25 to 30 days. After that, the caterpillar stops eating and try to spin silk around itself. Silk. Now we will learn that the larva which hatch from the eggs, those are called caterpillars. Those are called caterpillars, and this is the shape of caterpillar, or they are also called silkworms. And after that stage, it comes, it's ready to enter its new stage, that's pupa, and it starts weaves net around itself, and it secretes fibers that's made up of protein. And when that protein exposed to air, that hardens, and that is silk fiber, that becomes later silk fiber. And as soon as the caterpillar, it completely covers itself by this protein cover or the silk fiber, it turns into pupa, and this covering is called cocoon, like this. And the moth which remains inside this cocoon, this is the life process of the silkworm, silk moth. And later this cocoon is used for obtained the silk, because this cocoon has this the outer covering which is called cocoon, it is a protein layer, and this is also the silk fiber, and this is used as silk. Then what happens, these pile of cocoons are used for obtaining silk fibers. They are then kept under the sun or boiled or exposed to steam. Due to hot temperature, they separates out. The silk fiber comes out, and this process of taking out the thread from that cocoon, which is used later for as silk, is called the reeling the silk. It is done in machines, which has a special type of machines, and then the silk fibers which are obtained, they are spun into silk threads, and from that silk cloths are woven by the weavers. This is all about this silkworm, or the silk which we obtain from silk moth. And that's all for today. Goodbye.